Franklin Genesis said, Margie Lecchiani.
Alright, getting everything set up here. The wine. Lighting is okay. The inches Alright, pointer.
iBot said, help Mr. G with a donation through Stream Elements, https://streamelements.com/mrg_live/tip.
Alright.
Franklin Genesis said, MRG_live Keanu so cute.
Yeah, he sure is. Hey Google, pause. Hey Google, what's my name?
Your name is Your Majesty.
Damn straight.
Franklin Genesis said,
Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average
Franklin Genesis
on Idaho
said,
Street.
mine is gorgeous and I'm not there.
Mr. G, Mr. G,
That's a good one. I should change it.
on Idaho Street. Americana writer got
Jenny 50
education.
said,
I spent him while
Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G.
Hey.
Unworn white
Hey, Jenny with the G.
covering his femur until he covered them with coffee and creamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on Idaho Street. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher
Fucking
on
me.
Idaho Street.
I mean my oh. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Mr. G, 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 Mr. G. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone Idaho streamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher, gone Idaho streamer. Americana writer, got no education. I spent him while streaming on a Hawaiian vacation. Unworn white Levi's wearing until I smoked him with coffee and creamer. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on Idaho Street. Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, he's your average teacher on Idaho Street. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G, 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 Mr. G, Mr. G, He's your average teacher, gone Idaho streamer. He's Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G, Mr. G. He's your average teacher, gone Idaho streamer. Mr. G, 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 Mr. G.
Hi, Mr. G. Welcome to my class. I wasn't really going to break the guitar, if you're wondering about that. Hey, Google.
Countryman.
Volume
said,
2.
Lol. Countryman. Said. What's up, G?
Hey, countryman.
Frontline Genesis. Said. Lol. Frontline Genesis. Said. Already laughing. Stream Elements.
Hey,
Said.
Google. Play Bach.
The new merch is here, PogChamp. Check it out. https://merch.streamelements.com/mrg_live.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mr. G. Yes, 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 I'm Mr. G. G. Okay,
Anyways, Aloha Friday, guys. If you're new here, we have class on Monday, Wednesday, Friday about this time. I'm running a little bit late today. It's Aloha Friday. I generally wear a new costume to start each class. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live on Twitch. If you're wondering about me, crazy bearded guy, my website's on the screen. It has a resume that has my background and education and teaching. Today, we're going to be learning about the great state of Indiana. Did I point at it correctly? No, it's over here, obviously. Indiana. And shout out to Cody, longtime viewer from Indiana, as well as a lot of people are from Indiana. Generally, if you make it and you're from Indiana, you generally move somewhere better, generally. Hey Google, Volume 4. So, I hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday. Countryman is here. Mrs. J might be stopping in. She might be a little late. We all hope she's doing well. And we're down to just a handful of states
The
left.
state I always thought Children of the Corn took place in. But I guess Maine has cornfields too long.
I'm surprised all of the different cornfields in the state of Indiana. But, so guys, if you want to just see my Instagram, see all the wonderful things and my wonderful kitties, my Instagram is on the screen right there, Gregory Joseph Brandt. Alright, back to the state of Indiana. And how this usually works is I will talk here for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we have a brief slideshow. Wow, this beard's pretty hot. I'll slowly take off the costume. We have a brief slideshow of famous food from the particular state, Indiana's today's state, and famous people from that particular state, and famous landmarks as well. We'll end the lecture with the state song of Indiana, played to the background of some of the famous sites that we go through in today's lecture. All right, so Indiana is a Midwestern state. The population, it's the 17th state. It became a state in 1816, just after the War of 1812. It's the 38th largest state and the 17th most populous.
I got.
The capital of Indiana is
Mr. G with a donation
Indianapolis.
through Stream Elements. https://streamelements.com/mrg_live.
And that's right in the middle of the state. Right in the middle. It's also its biggest city.
Getty 50.
The word pala...
Hey, that's where Burger Planet lives.
I don't know who that is.
Countryman. Said. 17th state, that's old.
Yeah, it is. It's became a state, like I said, just after the War of 1812. And it was originally a very conservative place. It still is. The only time it's voted Democratic was for Barack Obama once, not twice, once, and also for Lyndon B. Johnson once, and that was because there are a lot of poorer communities, and that was different too with LBJ. It was because he was initiating
said.
welfare for the poorest
Bill
parts
Clinton,
of the
I
United
believe, too.
States, which included parts of Indiana. Gary, Indiana, where Michael Jackson is from, is known as one of the poorest parts of the United States. It's right there on the border of Chicago in northern Indiana. And that's known as, like I said, one of the poorest parts of the United States. What was I doing here? Am I wearing a shirt? All right, so continuing on. What was I talking about? Polis actually means city in Greek. So you've heard of metropolis, megalopolis, and Indianapolis. So Indianapolis is Indianapolis. Well, Indianapolis, yeah. Indianapolis. Polis means city in Greek. I haven't used any chalk in a while. I kind of just like the sound of stuff. So on the board here, as you can see,
I got. Said.
we have James
You
Dean.
can send Mr. G, Moses,
He's
and
from
Kian
Indiana.
packages to 1170 New Avenue. P.O. Box 37305, Honolulu, Hawaii 96823.
So on the board here,
Street
we have James Dean, who is from
The new
Indiana.
matches here called
Indiana,
Jack
the
Jack
University
is
of, no, excuse me, Indiana University. Indiana University. Here, gotta turn that down a little bit.
Countryman said, Annapolis is the only other capital that has that too.
Oh, good point. Indianapolis, also a capital city with the word polis in its name. So where are we at here? Let me just put up a Indiana. So, okay, so I'll move that over on this side. All right, so as you can see on the board here, we have Indiana basketball and James Dean. This is the Indiana state flag. I think it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 outer stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stars around the whatever that's called that they run with at the Olympics, the torch. What do you know what a torch is? Yeah. And then 1 large star at the top of the torch. We'll learn about that in a little bit, about the state flag. This is the Notre Dame. They're one of the top private Catholic universities in the United States, and they are located in Fort Bend, Indiana. It's a famous movie called Rudy. It's not that good. I wouldn't suggest it. But hey, it's about Notre Dame. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's a good movie. I saw it while I was incarcerated. All right, moving on. So, polis, spelled P-O-L-I-S. It's not Polish like you might think. It's Greek. It means city. So, like Countryman was pointed out, Indianapolis comes from that word. Metropolis comes from that word. And also, hey Google, resume music.
Franklin Genesis
And also,
said,
Indianapolis.
I call police dollars.
Police, yeah. Yeah, I mean city, yeah. And yeah, that's I imagine that's where they got the word for police.
Ashmods
Good point. Hey, Ash.
said, good day, Chef G.
Hey, good day. I really need to update these cards at the bottom here. But these do go, a lot of work goes into this, making these slides, these presentations. I do really enjoy doing it. I'm not complaining it, but, I do, it is a handful here. So continuing with the lecture. Like I said, Indiana is, it's probably like the 42nd state. The only states that we have left in this semester is Texas, California, Oregon, Washington, Florida, Alaska, and Hawaii, and that's it. Indiana here, as well as Florida, that's going to be the last East Coast state. Every other state, Texas, California, Oregon, Washington, Hawaii, and Alaska, they're all west of the Mississippi River. So, we're talking about Indiana University. It's one of the top schools in the United States. It has over 24 NCAA championships, many of them in basketball, what they're known for. I'm going to put on the viewfinder too. Let's use that. That's autopilot. University of Indiana has about 50,000 students. It was enacted in 1820. It was the first major university in Indiana. Remember, Indiana became a state in 1816, so 4 years later, it developed its first state university, which is common among many states, including Texas, Tennessee, that I can think of at the top of my head. But generally, after after a territory became a state, they enacted a state university.
Frontland Journey
So the Indiana University.
SRRY, Mr.G, gotta go. Sorry. CYA next strand.
Okay, thanks, Frontline Genesis.
Nightbot.
I'll be live this weekend
Set.
gaming and
Mr.
a
G
big
with donation
event
through
tomorrow,
Streamlabs,
too.
https://streamelements.com/mrg_live/tip.
So yeah, I'll be doing some IRL tomorrow, outside IRL on YouTube, so check that out too. There's a couple of big events going on here in Honolulu tomorrow, and unless I don't really feel up to it, I definitely probably, and I do feel up to it. So look for that tomorrow on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, shout out to YouTube. Give this a thumbs up, and if you're from Indiana, if you've been to Indiana, or you know something about Indiana, then leave something in the comments as well. All right, so back about Indiana. The number one school there is Indiana University. They do have Indiana State. Indiana State doesn't even have half the student population in Indiana.
https://merch.streamelements.com/mrg_live.
It doesn't even have half the students of Indiana. Then there's Notre Dame. Notre Dame has less than 10,000 students. Notre Dame is in South Bend, Indiana. South Bend, Indiana is a very poor part of the state. Even though Notre Dame University is a very wealthy school, South Bend is a very poor area. Hey, what's up, Adam Smith? Even though the University of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame as it's sometimes pronounced, even though it's one of the top schools in the country, it's located in they generally are overrated. It's located in the poorer part of the state in northern Indiana. Like I said, Indianapolis is right in the middle of the state. Oh, I gotta wash my hands. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands. I'll just feel better. Indianapolis is in the middle part of the state, and then the northern part of the state is where you have Gary and also
Legend Adam Smith.
South Bend, Indiana. And I don't think anybody will argue that the poorer part of Indiana is in the northern part of the state, and the wealthier part is in the major city, Indianapolis. Indianapolis is the 17th largest city in the United States, which makes it larger than Denver and larger than Seattle. It's a lot larger than people give it credit for. However, Indianapolis's nickname is Naptown. Yeah, Naptown. I'm not making that up. But it has about 1 million people in the city limits, but then there's about 2.5, 3 million in the metro area, just like major cities. The Indianapolis 500 happens every Memorial Day.
Is the 17th largest state.
Indiana's the 17th most populous state. It's the 38th most largest in areas, but the 17th most populous. And also Indianapolis is the 17th largest city. But like I said, the Indianapolis 500 is what it's mainly known for.
Gary, Indiana, one of the highest murder and gun crime cities in the country.
Yeah, I was going to kind of leave that out of today's. It's just like, Friday, but you're right. Gary, Indiana is one of the most dangerous places, northern Indiana in general. The University of Notre Dame, if you're going to school there, don't go too far from campus there, kids, because that's a really bad area in northern Indiana. But back to Indianapolis, the Indianapolis 500 happens every Memorial Day weekend, and it's the most popular race in the United States. Can you believe they fit more than 300,000 fans watch the Indianapolis 500, more than any sporting event or anything in the history of humankind. That's like the population of Portland, is in the stands there.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Okay, guys, I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to take a brief second here. I'll be right back. I just need to wash my hands and I got that chalk all over. So hold on.
Schmutz said, "You got me, I was trying to tease you. Mr. G, you talk very fast. I honestly can take in all your information that fast."
Alright, that's much better.
Ashmods said, Cannot asterisk.
Okay.
Countryman said, hope everyone in chat's having a good Friday.
Hey,
himself.
Aloha Friday. So I'm trying to get a classroom Instagram. So if you guys want to contribute to the classroom Instagram, it's on the screen right now, and that's somewhere that I want everybody that we can go to and not just see my personal pictures, but also have lots of different stuff. So if you want something posted on the classroom Instagram page, just send it to me in Discord or somewhere else, and I'll post it on there. I want it to be a community page because Instagram, it's like the top social media. So like let's have a page on there just for the classroom.
Smith_666
is what I'm trying to do there.
A countryman, hey brew.
All right, so continuing on, like I said, if you're new to this class, I'll generally talk about the state for about 10-15 minutes before we have a slideshow with some of the top foods and famous people from the state. So we talked about Indianapolis. Some more major cities in the state of Indiana that you might hear about is Evansville, Indiana. That's population about 100,000, but the metro area is about 400,000. Hey Google, pause. Hey Google, volume 9.
Dream elements.
Hey Google, how long does it take to drive from Evansville, Indiana to Indianapolis, Indiana?
Streamelements.com/mrg_live.
Evansville to Indianapolis will take you 2 hours and 48 minutes.
Hey Google, volume 9. Hey Google, how long does it take to drive from Evansville, Indiana to Indianapolis, Indiana? Hey Google, what's the driving time between Evansville and Indianapolis?
Driving from Evansville to Indianapolis will take you 2 hours and 48 minutes.
Okay, so
you can see the full directions.
Okay, that's enough, Google. Hey Google. Hey Google. Volume 4. Hey Google, resume music. See, the thing is about Google, he still can't think as fast as I can. I need a computer speaker that can keep up with me, because it gets annoying otherwise. All right, so Evansville is the second largest city in the state of Indiana. Then there's Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne has about 250,000 people, about 250,000 people. Then Gary, Indiana. Also, I told you there's major universities. University of Indiana, that's in Bloomfield, Indiana. Indiana State is in Terre Haute, Indiana. And Purdue, and Notre Dame, of course, is in Notre Dame is in South Bend, Indiana. And Purdue is in West Lafayette. Out of all those schools, the top ranked academically school is Purdue. Generally the wealthier students and generally the better students in the state of Indiana, they're more likely to go to Purdue compared to Indiana State or Indiana. All right, continuing on, what else is Indiana known for? They're known for their Amish. They have the highest Amish population per capita of any other state. We went over Pennsylvania last week, and Pennsylvania does have the most Amish.
Evansville, also another one of the most dangerous cities in the country long. Right across the river from Louisville. Seems Indiana has a lot.
Yeah, you're right. Louisville is Indiana has a border with Kentucky. Louisville right there. Countryman, you're really great in this class. I really appreciate you. You add so much, and you remind me of things. No, that's not appropriate. No. I know it's Friday. I know we're all excited about the weekend. I'm excited to get to the Love Shack myself. But we're going to finish Indiana, and then we're going to have a great weekend. All right, but Countryman, what I was saying is, you're right. Indiana's nickname is the Crossroads, the Crossroads of America. It's in the Bible Belt, it's in the Midwest, but it's known as the Crossroads of America, and it's been known as that since it first became a state. One of the reasons is it has a border with Michigan, Lake Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Illinois. So as you said, Louisville has one of the highest crime rates in the United States, and they have a border right there on with Indiana. Just like Gary, Indiana, is right there in South Chicago. When you hear about the bad parts of Chicago, it's the southern parts right there on the border of Indiana. So South Chicago just drifts over into Gary, Indiana. It's a terrible place to live. I don't know why people would live there. I don't know why people would live in Detroit. I just want to, but I'm sorry. I shouldn't talk smack about it, but But anyways, continuing on. Some of the top industries in the state of Indiana is aerospace.
They have the largest Amish population.
Yeah.
Interesting. I always thought that was Pennsylvania.
Well, Pennsylvania does have the highest number of Amish people, but they have a much higher population. The entire population of the state of Indiana is relatively small at 6.7 million. And if you remember last week, Pennsylvania has 20 electoral votes, whereas Indiana only has 11 electoral votes, which actually went to Donald Trump both in 2020 and 2016. I'd just like to point that out. The Google speaker there, they won't tell me that. If I'm like, who won Indiana? If a Trump won, then they're like, I do not know, you know. But if Biden won, they're like, yes, Biden won that state. Like the speaker's so biased there. But anyways, Trump won Indiana. It's always voted Republican, generally. But the Amish, Pennsylvania has a much higher population, so they have more Amish total, but there's more Amish per capita in the state of Indiana. The Amish live in 3 different states in the United States: Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana. And that area is known as Amish Alley.
The new Butchers Hip Hop Championship.
But yeah, Amish Alley. The Amish, they're known to make great furniture, great shoes. They're very efficient. Many people buy their furniture, buy Amish furniture. It's the most, they make very high quality stuff. A lot of people say made in America isn't the best. But if made in America is made by the Amish, then it is good. So what else do they have besides Amish? They have a lot of automotive plants. They're 5th in the United States in automotive. They have aerospace plants. They have agriculture. And also they're tops in the country with cybersecurity businesses, and also defense and national security as well. Mike Pence, former Vice President of the United States, is from Indiana, just like many people are. So a lot of corn grows in Indiana. They do grow corn, they do grow soy. Those are the 2 top agricultural products. They rotate between corn, soy, and winter wheat. That's tend to do that in the Midwest, so you don't damage the soil. What else?
Ashmods love soy.
Ashmods love soy. Okay, class. It's everybody's excited. So one other thing about Gary, Indiana, is they actually have houses there for only $1. You can actually buy a house in Gary, Indiana, for a freaking $1. I don't know why I said it like that. People from Indiana are called Hoosiers. And the demonym, I believe the demonym is what it's called. A demonym is what somebody from some place is called. So somebody from Hawaii, well, that's a bad example. Somebody from California, somebody from Texas is called a Texan. And somebody from Indiana, they're not called an Indianan, they're called a Hoosier. Yeah. Indiana University, they're known as the Indiana Hoosiers, and it's an argument on what the heck a Hoosier is. But one thing that nobody disagrees with is that people, guys, calm down. You can take it out in the schoolyard at the end of class, Mr. Smith and Mr. Mods. Okay. Guys, come on. Break it up. We're gonna, you guys can take care of it after class on the courtyard. Do you hear that, class? There's gonna be a big punch out between Mr. Smith and Mr. Mods at the flagpole at half past our class here. All right, so some more things. So Indiana does grow a lot of corn. They invented the corn picker, actually. They also invented the gas pump, the theme park, the machine gun, and the household washing machine. Previously, washing machines were always, somewhere else, not in the home. Okay. Continuing on. Let me change the Indiana's picture. So, all right. So, continuing on with Indiana, we talked about the Indy 500. We talked about Amish Alley. We talked about Gary, Indiana, having houses for $1. We talked about the 4 major universities in Indiana, which is Indiana University, Indiana State University, Purdue. Purdue has about 40,000 students. Indiana State has like 10,000 students. They're like the bottom feeders. And Notre Dame also very selective, very hard school to get into, about 10,000 students as well. What else? Indiana University is one of the top research universities, and they have one of the top dental and medical schools in the United States. A lot of dentists and doctors come from Indiana University. If you went to that school, the Indiana University Medical School is one of the top public medical schools in the United States too. All right, so what else? The agriculture, industry-wise. They have lots of farms there. There's lots of flat land. It's the 10th largest in farming in the United States. They're right there in the Great Lakes, Lake Michigan. There's lots of nice beaches in Indiana, not ocean beaches, but beaches on Lake Michigan. And they do have a border with Michigan and Lake Michigan as well. Their nickname is the Crossroads of the United States, and that's because, they're Kentucky's, Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio. All right there. So they're right there in the middle. They're not necessarily landlocked because there's a huge lake there. They have a nice flag, with the gold torch and the stars around it. What else? I guess that's about it. A lot of people aren't moving to Indiana. They're not a popular destination. Not many people are leaving either. So I guess people are proud to be there. Their nicknames are the Hoosier States and the Crossroads of America. The motto, I believe, is, hey Google, what is Indiana's state motto?
Indiana's motto is Crossroads of America.
Okay, Crossroads of America.
What do you say Indiana is the most boring state?
They say that, Indianapolis' nickname is Naptown. I'd say it's safer than the communities around it. If you're from the middle of Indiana, I wouldn't be that embarrassed. There's worse places to be from, I think. Hey Google, Volume 8. Hey Google, where's the worst place in the United States? Oh, excuse me. Never mind. Hey Google, what's the most boring state in the United States?
Idaho. Here's a summary
Whoa.
from the website World
You
Population
didn't even have to think about it. So
Idaho takes the #1 spot for the most boring state in the country. Idaho has a population of 1.78 million people over 83,569 square miles of land, resulting in a population density of about 21.6 persons per square mile. People also sometimes ask me, why is Idaho the most boring state? Do you want to hear the answer?
Yes.
On the website 1035kissfmbois.com, they say, a recently compiled list is declaring the state of Idaho as the nation's most boring state, and
So
I'm
you
just
got
not here
that
for
class,
it.
Idaho.
According to this list, Idaho is the most boring
Idaho is
primarily because of
officially
the high
the most
percentage
boring.
of married households and the high number of households with kids.
A couple more things about Indiana. Hey Google, Volume 2. Indiana's not the most boring, I'll tell you why. Basketball may have been invented in Massachusetts, but back in Massachusetts they were using a peach basket. Hey peach! In Indiana they put nets, they put rims. Indiana is known for basketball, and that's rare. You have states that it's big on football, like Hawaii or Texas, but a state that's big on basketball, hey, that's why they have the NCAA tournament, which kicks off today. I hope you guys filled out your brackets. I filled out a few brackets myself. Having been known as a basketball place, I think there's some respect in that, because you're taking a sport that's popular worldwide, but it's not regionally popular. So a place like Micronesia as well. Micronesia basketball. Well, this isn't a basketball, but it's about the shape of basketball. That's how you shoot a basketball. That's how you do a behind the back pass in basketball, like that. All right, so behind the back pass. All right. So, they're the only state in the United States where we like basketball, and they have the receipts to prove it. They've produced more NCAA basketball players and more professional basketball players than any state in the United States, and that's for the population of 5 million. That goes with some credence that it takes a a village to raise a child, right? So that's, and also environment, how much environment has to do with a person's career choices and success as well. So having strong emphasis on basketball being the most popular sport there, you put up more goals and more basketball posts in neighborhoods. More kids are playing basketball. More people are watching basketball. And I grew up watching basketball, playing basketball, and being a big fan of basketball. I wouldn't have been able to do that. So I do like basketball a lot. And but any sport, if they were like really big on hockey or really big on lacrosse or really big in whatever, tennis, they're the tennis crazy state, then that's interesting. So I would say that Indiana is not the most boring state at all. Plus, many famous people have come from Indiana as well. Also, they're one of the oldest states. They're the 19th state. I'd say they're one of the most underrated states in the United States. Like when you think of Indiana, a lot of people they think of Michael Jackson, Gary, Indiana, James Dean. Whoa. Hey Google, turn up. It's from Indiana. But in doing the research, they have a very interesting lot. I mean, there's 37th in population, but you have the Amish, you have the ghettos in Gary, Indiana, and right over there near Louisville, you have on the Kentucky border, you have Kentucky on one side and Chicago on the other. I mean, they're the crossroads of America, and you also have 4 very quality universities. 4 of the top universities in the United States are in the small state of Indiana, which doesn't have a lot of people, which doesn't have a lot of space, but they have a lot of character. And I'm not going to let you say otherwise. All right. With that being said, we're going to start our slideshow here. I'm not going to end the stream. I'm just going to try to continue it. Hopefully it doesn't F out and everything. So we're going to start the slideshow about the state of Indiana.
Said, Indiana